this Saturday?
I'm doing wonderful, and yes, we are here. We are here, and this is double elimination as a reminder to all of you dear viewers watching at home. So just because a team loses in their set, they still have an opportunity to claw their way back here. I believe we have in total 10 teams with us. Yes, we do have 10 teams with us in this tournament, but first we'll be looking at Blue Moon Hue versus Star Allies first here on Splatzone's Macomart.
Yes, we are, and I'm always excited to see the loadouts, what we're going to be looking at here. Interestingly enough, we do see a sploosh on the side of Star Allies, and excitingly for me, we see a Dread Ringer on the side of Moon Hue. When it comes to here, it's all about the AoE, and you're going to want to slosher online, which I think is kind of helping them to take this space currently. They've taken the entirety of zone, but we're going kind of back and forth between these teams. They seem evenly matched to me, Rocket.
Yeah, and Blue Moon Hue have their comp just basically based around just trying to see if they can get that carbon in and seeing if they can help support them go in, as it's no real surprises in terms of their weapons neither direction. We do see the Zuka and the Whale going out, though, which we'll find two members of Star Allies just leaving the Splash and the Sploosh, which you mentioned earlier is a very interesting play here. Not something you see at all. Navy, though, managing to get a good pick there on the side of Star Allies, managing to find Auto on that Crab. Two players now down on the side of Blue Moon Hue. Omega will get that quick trade, however, will lose their life, and that means that Starlight Allies will have the numbers, but will they be able to paint in time to at least solve this? They will, at least for the time being, but they still have to deal with that pencil finally dealt with.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of trading back and forth, even though Star Allies has been able to cap the zone moving forward. We have a lead switch here as well. Neither are really all that low, but if Star Allies is able to keep this pressure, we have I Love Heavy here on this heavy edit, kind of pressuring and trying to keep them in check. We see Zuka's coming out, and it seems like Blue Moon Hue kind of throwing everything to try and cap this and stop the ticking down on the side of Star Allies, but the numbers just keep going down. It seems like they're coming close to a cap here perhaps, but everything's in neutral. They're gonna have to work really hard to push them back and stop that 23, and that's how it goes. You know, you have this Dread that is able to cover these stacks, make it hard for people to stand on them, but they also have that special there where it's going to be really easy for them to flip over the zone.
Yeah, that edit providing so much fire and so much firepower in itself. Just the respect that Blue Moon Hue has to give it, where every time they see it on the left stack, they just have to back up and just maybe try to find a different space in. We see how the Sploosh trying to go in. You see the Zuka being popped, not quite finding its target, as now 1v1 on the left side. Between that Carbon and Sploosh might come to pass. We see now Chosen going in with the stamp. Let's see if they can get one. No, the Carbon somehow manages to hit the victory off of that. And to the victor go the spoils. Not only that cooler, but now the zone. You saw that Reef Slider going in, coming in from the... Oh my goodness, a great flick on the back there as well for that Carbon to still continue to make its presence known. Finally now managing to find its footing, finding more with this as well. Finally, now Blue Moon Hue are able to have a stronger control, and this Carbon is still not done. Santa's continuing to go through it. I believe that was his 4 straight kills in a row.
Yeah, Santa has certainly come to town with this Carbon, literally getting so many picks in a row, which has been really tantamount in keeping them back. But it seems, especially with this decaf here, with this bubble, able to take this space, kind of cap the ink they already have on the floor and put the kibosh on Blue Moon Hue, kind of going towards their lead here, but they're not able to do it. Like you say, you have this heavy edit on this left stack here. You've got to respect that, especially when they have this this full charge here jumping out, respectable. But you know, they've got, not only does Blue Moon Hue have their hands on the zone that Star Allies is really going to have to start rushing and throwing themselves at, but as you can see, they've made their way through the entirety of their penalty points, and they're ticking down. If they're not able to rush this right now, we might see a lead swap.
And Santo continuously moving in, finds another on the other team's stack, and now is making their presence known. Now with 10 ticks left, Blue Moon Hue can easily make this a very good comeback victory. You see Navy with the crab just trying to see if they can get something happening. Now players and specialists, it's all blowing up in the middle, but in the end, Blue Moon Hue still hold on and take game one, and a very good comeback effort from them, and especially like we saw there, it was just based on the ability of them being able to position Santo in such a great position to allow that carbon to really thrive and really to keep Star Allies guessing. That's what really was the momentum shift. Plus, the little fist bump there too for a job well done, and now they're up 1-0 in this set.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I know what it is to have a teammate who's on carbon on a map like this. He who controls the stacks, controls the map, and controls the paint. And the fact that they were able to paint enough to set up Santo to be on those stacks and get those picks, really strong job. But we are heading into Clam Blitz Scorch Gorge. And I have to wonder if we're going to see any changes on either side for this loadout. It's definitely more open space, less cramped than perhaps a Mako Mart. So I'm wondering what we're going to see out of these teams.
I mean, I wouldn't really mind them just sticking with the same comps they run, because you saw the Dredge, Pencil, Gal, and Carbon coming out from one side on the side of Blue Moon Hue. That comp could still work here. That Dredge, especially for Reef Slide of the Zuka. Carbon is always going to be a presence. I mean, we saw it right there. Santo was just a complete anomaly of just being able to control the pace of the game for their team, and you need to respect it if you're on the side of Star Allies. Now switching over on that topic, Star Allies, in terms of what they're running, they can really cook with that Sploosh and Splash there. Having those two specials, especially on Scourge Gorge, if you can position that crab on top of mid, it's just going to provide so much of a presence that you just grab so much attention to it. And as well, the Sploosh with the Ultra Stamp, a great way to get in.
No, absolutely. That was exactly what I was thinking. Both of these teams have very aggressive specials that they're running. Between, I think, if we see that Dread again, we might see that Reef Slider. And then, like you said, if we see the Sploosh, we're going to have that Stamp. And those can be really solid for getting up that ramp. I think that's kind of like the last thing that you're looking down when you're getting to that basket. A lot of people get stuck in that choke, and if you can have this sort of special where you can push and explode that entire area, the basket is as good as yours, as far as I'm concerned. Ooh, we do see a switch to a tent, as well as a switch to a V roller. I think off of the carbon roller. So we're going to have a bubble online instead of that Zuka.
Indeed, and actually as well, I'm just intrigued to see that Blue Moon Hue, although they will go with that 10 Umbrella, they don't stick with the Carbon to maybe form a very nasty duo with that, because Carbon and Umbrella can go really well together. Instead going with the decap for the bubble, like you mentioned, which I do like the choice. On the other side of Star Allies, mainly switching out for that V-Roller, plus that Splatana Wiper, no Sploosh will be had, but there will be the bubble, and still a Stamp in play, so more of a side play there, but we're seeing this 10 Umbrella already going to work here. Otto is moving forward for Blue Moon Hue, trying to be this distracted on the left side. However, two of their teammates fall to the might of Star Allies, and now they're just left on an island here, and that is a 3-down situation for Blue Moon Hue. A great defense for Star Allies, so now they have control of mid and maybe can develop their push.
Absolutely. Blue Moon Hue, despite several people going, oh, we are just seeing roller gaming today with these double picks out of the chosen one. However, I do notice here that Star Allies does have this power clam, but struggling a little bit with the clam economy. I'm sure they're trying to build up some of these clams before they go in. But the thing is, when you're building up, if you know somebody on the other team has a Trizuka, you might want to get them down first, because the Trizuka can truly be the great equalizer here, as it sort of was here, opening up for Blue Moon Hue to get that ball in and start ticking down to a 68.
Indeed, and you want to get under that 60-point threshold, but Blue Moon Hue are currently just out of it, so they might have to be forced back here. So maybe an opportunity for Star Allies to even the odds here, because the reason you want to get under that is now Star Allies has a pity to really work with here. If they get another ball, the lead can switch very, very quickly if they're able to develop a good push here. Now, Crab is popped on the side of Star Allies, so maybe try to recollect some land here. However, both coolers are online, so we're going to be seeing some very fierce fighting here, but it's all going to come out on Star Allies as Omega pushes forward. Maybe might not find actually any value here as the roller Chosen One yet again is shutting down, and we are just seeing, like you mentioned in the beginning, this continuous roller play. A little bit of lag there, but another pick and another one too. That is 3 in a row. Maybe the team wipe, no, shut down by Otto on that 10 umbrella, but the damage will be done as now Blue Moon Hue are put on their back foot. The stamp is going out. The Ultra Stamp managing to find 2 as well will get traded out, but that is a lot of momentum going Star Allies' way, but they need to develop something off of it here as the clans are just not quite there yet.
Not to mention, I believe it is Navy who currently has the most clams and is, wow, able to get out of that crab, collect all of the clams. I was a little worried there. You definitely don't want the person who has the most clams to necessarily be stuck in the special here, making it very difficult. Once again, the great equalizer comes out with Izuka, getting several people down, kind of shutting down the defense that was coming out of Blue Moon Hue. And with this clam economy on their side, and Otto doing a fantastic job, honestly, the entire game with holding space, still alive in this corner, waiting for their teammates to move in here so that they can make this push. I think getting this last clam, hopefully we'll see if they're able to get this power clam and see the fruits of their labor, but they're stuck in this bubble. This is a nightmare for me with all of this stuff coming towards them. And unfortunately, there is no follow-up to that basket breaking open, shutting down that push. And unfortunately, despite that fantastic hold by Otto with that tent in the corner, I'm not sure they have anything to show for it, especially because they've given the other team a power clam to work with.
I mean, I'm not sure what else you could have asked from the Tenebrola. I mean, they held their position, managed to fight 3, and even 1v1 an Ultra Stamp and win somehow, and still maintain their presence. But will they win again? The Stamp is yet again shut down by Blue Moon Hue, so not quite finding much value here, but Chosen One remains firm, managing to find one, trying to be the Iron Wall towards Star Allies, and maybe trying to get into Siki Jump. No, quickly snuffed out by a mine, actually, of all things here, and now in the dangerous situation here, if you're Star Allies, you have one final push with you. You have the pity as well to really work with here, so you can really take a little bit of time, but you need to go now here. The pen is down for Blue Moon Hue, and now is the Brella. Now the most of your problems are gone. You need to deal with this Gallon Decavitator, but we have saw in the previous round, Santo, who is now on that Decavitator, can be a little bit of a problem, but Omega is actually the one to slow down the push a little bit, but Star Allies needs to make their way towards the goal and fast, and especially need to save that ball, but no, the ball is lost.
Oh gosh, Star Allies only has so much time in OT, and I know that Blue Moon Hue has indeed kind of locked in and wiped the other team. That will be game, and you know, that's a point, I believe, for Blue Moon Hue.
That is the point, and I believe that is the set. That is them moving on, and they will be facing #1 seeded NFT robbers in the next round. But I just got to give props for Otto for also giving a hand. I mean, all these members, another fist bump there. All the members of Blue Moon Hue. I mean, we saw them all, Santo, Otto, Omega, and Moon. They were just constantly working together, taking the 2-1-1 positions, and especially Otto. I mean, we saw so many of the Tenebrella highlights. It's not a weapon you see often, but if you're able to master it like they were evidently there, it can really change the aspect of the game. I mean, game 1 was just one based off of Santo's Carbon, and game 2, I would be very inclined to say that was just one off of Otto's Brella.
Yes, fantastic Brella gaming, fantastic roller gaming, and just really strong holds, really strong pushes, but also, despite seeing this 2-0 here, these were very close games. I feel like it was a lot of back and forth going on there, and quite frankly, if they were able to make a more coordinated push at the end there, we might have been going to a game 3, but definitely, excited to see how Star Allies is able to fare in the losers bracket. Uh, and yeah, quite GG's to both teams. An exciting set for sure.
Yes, and I believe we're going to be taking a very short break as our next match was not quite ready yet, as Bingus and ZZZ are currently 1-1 tied in a game 3 to decide who will be facing Woe in the next round here. We will definitely be seeing Woe for the next one, but as for the aforementioned teams earlier, Bingus versus ZZZ, it is still up to game 3 to determine who will be facing Woe. So we'll be right back, but don't go anywhere as round 2 will start here shortly.